Hi boys and girls, it's Mr. Yates, and today we're going to be in this video going over the Spiral Math for Wednesday, April 22nd. And as always, I have my Spiral Math on a nice lined piece of paper. If you don't have lined paper, that's fine. But it is good to always have answer on one side and work on the other, just so it makes it easier for you to check it, because that's matching what I'm doing. I'm going to start off with the first one, and our first question is to estimate by rounding. Rounding means that we're going to make it easy to do in our heads by rounding each number. I'm looking at 84 and I'm looking at 843. And I think the best way to do this is to round it to the near, well, I'm going to round 84 to the nearest tens place. I'll make that 80. And I don't really want to round 843 to 840 because that's not easy for me to do in my head. What I think I will do is round 840 to the nearest hundreds place, which is 800. That's an easy math fact. What I could do is take 8 times 800, and I know that's 64, and I just added my two zeros, and I get 6,400. I'm going to write that as estimating like this: 84 times 843, wavy equal sign, 6,400. So it's about 6,400. If you did go 840 times 80, or, oh no, I made a copy error. I just looked at this. I realized that I took 8 times 800. It should have been 80 times 800. I'm going to put a big old copy error there because I knew what I was going to be doing, but then I just totally didn't do it. And I'm sure some of you right now are like yelling at the screen going, Mr. Yates, you made a big error. I'm glad I caught it in time before I got the emails. So I'm going to go ahead and cross out some of this. Yeah, I made a major copy error. I'll write that down here. It doesn't change the, well, it changes the answer quite a bit because it's, instead of 6,400, 8 times 8 is still 64, but now I have 3 zeros to add. 1, 2, 3. So now it's 64,000, which is quite a bigger number. Whew, I'm really glad I caught that copy error just in time. So I'm going to go down here and put 64,000 instead. Glad I caught it. All right. Good, Miss Garcia. And take it away for number 2. And I'll move this down so it's a little bit easier for us to see everything. Okay.
Okay, so it says Chloe recorded the links of several walking stick insects. And it wants us to show the links in order from least to greatest. So on this one, the main thing that you guys are going to want to do is to, first off, line your decimals up. Indeed. You don't want to have to hear Mr. Yates sing that song and all the claps. It's just, it's a little painful. Don't do it.
No, and actually, I think since this quarter so far, since we've been away, I have not had to subject us to that, but I can.
Don't be that student. So make sure that you line them up. So
I'm going to annex a few zeros here just to make sure it's easier to line up.
Okay. So for your guys' answer sentence, you can say the lengths in order from least to greatest are just like Mr. Yates is writing right now. And make sure you guys have lengths as well as order, as well as the words least to greatest, which means smallest to largest. So you're going to go ahead and want to start by looking at the tens place. So you're looking at it and, okay, they're all ones, so they're all even there. Then you move over to the right and you have 2 zeros and 2 ones. So the zeros are definitely going to come first. So that's we're going to be looking at A, which is 10.24, and C, which is 10.20. So then we go to the third column, which is the tens place, and they're both 2s, so you're all even there. But then we get to the hundredths place, and then you have 4 and 0. So 0 is smaller than 4, so you're going to go ahead and want to put that one first, because that is going to be our smallest length. And then the next is going to be your A, which is 10.24, because that's our only one, our other one that has 10 as the whole number. Now we're going to be comparing B and D. So we see that our tens place is both ones, then we go to the ones place and it's both ones, so you're all even there. But then you get to the tenths place and you have 1 and 0. So 0 is going to be smaller than 1. So our letter D, 11.05, is going to be our third number that you guys should have written down. And then by the last one, it's going to be 11.10 because it's our last one standing, and plus 0 is smaller than 5 in the hundredths place. So that is the order that you guys should have put for that question.
All right, let's move on down to number 3. On this one, we're going to be finding the product of 87 and 2/10 multiplied by 41. I'm going to go ahead and write that out right here. And since it's a number sentence like this, I can just put 87 and 2/10 multiplied by 41 equals. I'll leave a blank right there for my product. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply out right now 87 and 2/10. Move this up just a little bit to, oops, give some space here to what, there we go. So 87 and 2/10 multiplied by 41. What I want to do is be mindful of the decimal point right there, and that's going to remind me that C, which is the number of digits on the right of the decimal, is 1. I'm going to keep that in mind when it comes time later on to move the decimal. 872. I don't even have to pretend the decimal's there, just 872 times 1 is 872. Then I'll do a 0 underneath the tens or the ones place, and then go 872 times 4. I'm pretending like the decimal's not even there when I multiply. So 2 times 4 is 8. I don't have to carry anything. 7 times 4 is 28. I do have to carry a 2 now. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 2 more is 34. Now I'm going to add them up. 2, 7 plus 8 is 15. Carry the 1. 9 plus 8 is 17. Carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Don't carry anything now, and I have 3. As I go across, I am going to put my decimal here, and remember that C equals 1, which is the 1 digit that's on the right side of the decimal. That means we're going to move the decimal 1 space only to the left. I'll put a comma here to show that my product is 3,575 and 2/10. Great. Now we're going to move on to number 4.
All right, so number 4 says a toy box has 6 faces, which are going to be our sides. There are 12 edges, which remember, if you remember our definition, edges are where 2 faces meet. And it has 8 vertices, which are where 3 faces meet. So it's the corners. Identify the shape of the toy box. So, crazy story. I promise this was not planned, but I happened to just look over at my little speaker right here. And oh my gosh, oh my Lanta, it is, I just realized I said my signature saying that Jonah drew a sticker of.
I'm going to put the video over here so everyone can see what you got there, Miss Garcia. Can you go ahead and hold that up there and show everybody?
See, it's a speaker. It's like a little Sony speaker, and it's actually, if we count the faces, so it has 6 faces that are squares. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our top and our bottom. So that's 6 faces. There are 12 edges, which are these right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I miss one? I'm missing 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, and then 12. Okay. Yes. And then it has 8 vertices. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there you have it. It is a, drum roll please, it's a cube, boys and girls.
Yay. So I'll go ahead and how would we say that as an answer sentence, do you think?
So for an answer sentence on this one, you can say the shape of the toy box is a cube.
Great. That really came in handy to show that the Bluetooth speaker there.
I know. I actually have to put it away. It usually goes on my nightstand, but since I didn't put it away from earlier, it came in handy. So
Perfect.
works.
All right, so the shape of the toy box is a cube. And just remember, boys and girls, D is not an answer. The word cube is the actual answer. So make sure you write that in your answer sentence instead of just a letter. All right, let's go to number 5. All right. On number 5, it's asking us, and I'm just going to go ahead and move you back to smaller version, Ms. Garcia, so we can see some more of the space here. Let's go ahead and there we go. All right, so what is 1,237,419 written in standard form? So I can write the number in standard form. You definitely want to have the word standard form in your answer sentence. Is, and we'll leave that, the rest of us here, for the standard form. So it's going to start with 1,000,000. I'm going to put a comma after my million. 237,000. So 237,419. And that is the number in standard form. Make sure that you have your commas between the millions and the 100,000s and the thousands and the hundreds place. And then you're good to go. We'll move on now to number 6. Number 6.
Okay, looking at number 6, it says divide. And you guys are more than welcome to write the answer sentence. 26,878 divided by 89. Or if you guys want to, you guys can always say the quotient is. So our first step is going to be to make sure that first we write our answer sentence, just like Mr. Yates is doing right now, and to make sure that we turn our paper sideways to make sure those cars are not crashing on the highway. So, Shakes has come out.
Shakes is very happy. Let me go ahead and put that in. And this is bringing out the long and long division. All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. So 89 can definitely not go into 2. 89 can't go into 26, but it can go into 268. And if I am calculating correctly, I believe it's 3 times.
Let me multiply that out and see. 9 times 3 is 27. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 2 is 267. Wow. That's actually really close to 268 and not more than 268. So we're good to go. I'm going to put that in right now. 89 times 3 is 267. That's going to leave 1 left over. I'll drop down the 7. I have 17.
89 definitely can't go into 17 though. So we're definitely going to have to do a 0 right there. So 89 goes into 17 0 times. So 89 times 0 is 0. Then when you guys subtract, you should end up with 17 again. But then we're going to go ahead and drop our 8 from our 26,878. And I believe that 89 goes in twice to 178.
Let's multiply it out and find out. This is one of those ones I cannot do as mental math, so I'm going to try it. 9 times 2 is 18. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 178. Spot on. All right, so we'll go ahead and put here 89 times 2 equals 178. Subtract those out.
You end with 0.
Excellent.
So your guys' answer should read 26,878 divided by 89 equals 302. or the quotient is 302.
Either way is going to be okay. All right, we're going to move on now to number 7. Oh, there's my number monkey. Don't fall for his tricks. Read every word carefully. I'm going to use a model to divide on this one, boys and girls. So since I'm going to be working with a model, I'm going to go get another piece of paper so that I can have plenty of extra space on this one and make sure that it's all good. So I'm going to put over here my answer on one side and my work on the other. Pull it up really quick right here. The model here is really important for you to be able to show me because we want to be able to know that we can show what's happening in our division with the model. So go ahead and put this over here. I'm going to take 1/9 divided by 2. And we'll leave a blank right here. And on this side, though, we're going to draw the model. And let's see if I can get really hipster with my, probably no, I probably don't want to do that because it's not going to be able to silos. I'll just draw it out. I'm going to make a nice unit bar, nice and straight. And I'm going to divide it into 9 equal parts. Try to make them as equal as you can to really represent 1/9. Each one of these is 1/9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you have to, add 2 more so that you have a total of 9 in your unit bar, 9 equal spaces. When I've got the 9 equal spaces, I'm going to label the first one just like it is up over here, 1/9. Essentially what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to take that 1/9 and we are going to divide it into 2 equal spaces, just like this. When we do that, what we want to do is our question mark is, what fraction of the entire unit bar is that question mark right there? We want to know what fraction that is. In order to do that, what I do is I take and divide each one of these into 2 pieces as well too. The reason I want to do that is then I'm going to be able to determine the fraction for that question mark space. So I'm going to be drawing each a half in each one of these 1/9. And I know some of you have figured out how to calculate this out without drawing a model, but one of the things you're going to be needing to be doing, especially as you get into the other grades, is you're going to have to be able to show models for dividing fractions. So it's really important to have mastery of that as you move on. So use the model too. Now I went ahead here and I drew and turned every single one of these 9 spaces into half. So I'm going to count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's 18 total spaces. One of these spaces, if I made it into a fraction of the whole thing, since there were 18 total spaces here, one highlighted is going to be 1/18 of the whole unit bar because there are 18 total spaces now that I've made. So 1/9 divided by 2 equals 1/18. All right, I'm going to go ahead and erase this out and I'll mark this off. So I really am looking to make sure that you showed your model on this one, boys and girls. Let's go ahead and move on. And go to number 8. All right, Ms. Garcia.
Okay, so it says 5/8 plus 3/10 equals blank. So you guys are more than welcome to write that number sentence out, or you guys can say the sum is, whichever one perfectly works. So our first step when we're adding fractions is going to be to make sure that we line them up vertically. So just like Mr. Yates is doing right here, and make sure you put that addition sign so we know what operation we're doing. So looking at this, we are going to want to make a common denominator because our denominators are different, so we cannot add them the way that they are right now. So the easiest number that comes to my mind is going to be 80. So we are going to go ahead and make our new denominators 80. So
how did you get 80, Ms. Garcia, by the way? I was just curious how you figured that out.
I found the least common multiple between the two.
Well, actually, the least common multiple is 40. I thought you multiplied 8 times 10. So
Oh, well, yeah.
that's okay.
Okay.
You can do
I
it either
thought it
way.
was at least common multiple.
It's okay. It's okay. Um, that's another shortcut though, Ms. Garcia. If you're really not sure, you could just take the two denominators and multiply them to get 80 and just use that as a shortcut.
Oh, yeah. That's a good way too. So,
It just means you're
okay.
gonna have to be doing
So,
some simplifying. So let's go
yeah,
ahead and
probably.
okay.
So when you guys multiply that out, so what you have to do to what you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. So in order to get your 80 on the top fraction, you have to multiply by 10. So 10 times 5 gives you 50, and then your 8 times 3 is going to give you guys 24. So then when you guys add that together, that should give you 74 over 80. And probably should have helped that I saw this out before, but I do know that, well, I know 2 definitely goes into it. I personally always start out with 2 when I see 2 even numbers, just to kind of make the numbers a little bit smaller. So 2 is going to go into your 80 40 times, and then it's going to go into your 74 37 times. And so looking at 37 and 40, you actually can't simplify that anymore. So our sum, or our answer, is going to be 37 over 40.
All right, great. Thank you for checking your Spiral Math with us, boys and girls. Make sure you fill out the survey after you're done with Spiral Math so we know that you finished your Spiral Math, you checked it, and you're telling us if you had any problems with it. That really does help us to make sure that you are getting everything done and you're doing your personal best. If you have any questions about our Spiral Math, go ahead and email myself or Ms. Garcia, and we're more than happy to help you if you were confused about anything. And we'll see you the next time we're checking Spiral Math. Bye-bye.